Hi, welcome to Jackie Recaps and thanks for supporting us. Today I will explaining a 2008 American science fiction drama film The Day the Earth Stood Still. Watch out for the spoilers and enjoy. The movie starts in the year 1928. There a man is shown who is enjoying the great outdoors on the Karakura Mountains. That man notices something baffling external his camp. He leaves his camp to notice it and he is left shocked subsequent to seeing it there he sees a Goliath-like ball. That mountain dweller quickly goes close to it. At the point when he strikes his sledge on it he promptly tumbles down and swoons. When he resuscitates as detects he notices the scar on his hand. It looks bizarre and astounding for him. Then the film movements to the year 2008. Then we see a researcher named Helen here. She resides in a house alongside her stepson. She has an extraordinary warmth for her child. Perhaps Helen's child doesn't adore her similar than a few spies are displayed in the film who have come to take Helen. However, Helen isn't willing to go with those spies since she realizes that her child will be let be, assuming she leaves from that point. Notwithstanding it, she needs to go with them. They take Helen to the NASA Central Command. There Helen meets numerous researchers like her. Here Helen likewise meets with her companion named Michael, who additionally serves in NASA. He lets Helen know that she has been proposed by him. In the following scene we see that all researchers are going to a gathering in the corridor of NASA. They are educated that a moving item has been seen in Jupiter's circle, which is moving rapidly towards the Earth. Its speed is determined as 30,000 kilometers each second. On the off chance that it crashes into Earth, there will be no indication of something going on under the surface. Hearing it, all researchers get stressed. Yet, the most over-the-top horrendous reality is that the item can't be quit utilizing a rocket since its speed is exceptionally high than damnation, and is shown conversing with her child through a telephone. She encourages her child to rest in the basement this evening, since a dangerous tempest will break out today. Further we see every one of the researchers are moving in the airplane of NASA. They began seeing that moving article from NASA's airplane. That moving article decelerates while it moves towards the Earth. After some time that item arrives on the planet. That moving article was only an outsider spaceship. Now every one of the researchers move towards that outsider spaceship. All researchers are taking a gander at the spaceship. Distinctly a brilliant light transmits from it. Presently an outsider rises up out of that outsider spaceship. Helen attempts to shake her hand with it, yet the tactical power shoots it. That outsider gets injured seriously. Helen gets promptly an enormous and giant humanoid comes from the outsider spaceship. It doesn't look so awful in its appearance, yet some electromagnetic radiation are emanating from his eyes. Thus every one of the lights and network get debilitated. Later that humanoid utters an extremely terrifying sound. That sound looks so clearly that it becomes imperceptible for the human ears. Every one of them begin to tumble to the ground. In the meantime that humanoid sees Helen and starts to assail it. Yet, that outsider precludes it. Since outsider has seen that Helen is really a decent woman and she can help it. Then, at that point, we see that outsider gets confessed to the emergency clinic. While the shot is being eliminated from its body, something odd occurs here. Its skin starts to shed. It implies that the outsider's skin has been totally shed. All researchers are staggered subsequent to seeing it, since that outsider looks very much like people. Seeing that, researchers choose to really look at the DNA of that outsider. By checking it they realize that outsider's DNA coordinates with the DNA of individuals. Researchers additionally find that outsiders have visited Earth before through DNA sequencing. Also, this all around occurred previously. We see toward the start of the film that the mountain dweller had a scar on his hand. In reality outsiders have taken the DNA of that mountain dweller. Helen thinks that the covered skin of outsider seems to be worms. That DNA was utilized so that outsiders can inhale on the Earth. Presently we see that outsider is chatting with Helen and someone else. We know through it that outsider has experience with our dialects. The other woman present there is a protection official of us military powers. As per her, this outsider might demonstrate a danger to them, and furthermore it looks extremely threatening to our planet. Yet, outsider uncovers to damnation and that he has come here to save the Earth. That protection official notices about breakdown of the satellite and furthermore the disturbance of correspondence when it showed up here. Outsider shares with her that it needs to meet the head of Earth. In any case, the protection official prohibits that. She takes that outsider from that point. Then they start the cross-examination of the outsider. There the outsider doesn't offer a solitary response to the official, and thusly it controls the machine and the cross-examiner official with his power. Later it is seen that little outsider spaceships start to arrive in general planet. Individuals begin dreading excessively. After this it is seen that the outsider's conditions begins to deteriorate when it is at the air terminal. He contacts Helen from that point, since it realizes that nobody can help it other than Helen. Helen alongside her child arrives at that outsider with much exertion. Furthermore, she offers it a medication which makes it recuperate. Since outsider has shown he was in the cafe when it meets him. What's more, it is uncovered through their discussion that he is likewise an outsider. He arrived on this planet quite a while back. That old outsider tells this outsider that individuals are annihilating the Earth. They are as yet doing it regardless of the information. After that, the outsider is displayed at the bank of a stream. There we see a spaceship that looks like an outsider spaceship. At the point when he contacts the spaceship, every one of the outsiders move into their spaceships. Afterward, in spite of the fact that spaceship begin to fly towards space, it implies that they are getting back from Earth. It implies that outsiders have sent back all outsider spaceships from this planet. Noticing it, Helen becomes disturbed. She likewise starts to believe that outsiders are likewise a danger to the planet. Outsider lets Helen know that it needs to save this world from people. Furthermore, people are ruining this world which the outsiders won't let occur. Helen dreadfully asks the outsider, "Could you at any point allow another opportunity to humankind?" Outsider tells people, "Didn't see even we granted the many possibilities. Presently we can do nothing." While Helen and the outsider are chatting, a cop perceives the outsider and approaches there. That cop orders the outsider to put its hand on the vehicle. That vehicle raises a ruckus around town official when the outsider puts its hand on it in view of its superpowers. Bringing about the passing of the official, however, the outsider resuscitates him once more and resurrects him. Presently we can construe that the outsider has superpowers. A short time later it goes to Damnation Inn and says, "He was interfering with us, so I killed him. Be that as it may, I have additionally recuperated him totally." Helen demands again that it ought to allow another opportunity to humankind. Later the outsider reminds Helen that, "I had shared with you I need to meet the head of the Earth." Yet, it was not satisfied. Presently nothing can occur. Outsider and Helen are seen at the place of a teacher. There we see a mass equation on the board which was never settled by the people. Yet, that outsider settles it in no time flat. The teacher is recently astonished seeing it. The teacher says why it's conceivable, however the outsider lets him know it is conceivable. Then, at that point, the outsider tells Helen and that teacher that they all got joined when their planet was going to obliterate. What's more, they have an impact on their lifestyle. What's more, they prevailed to get their planet. After this the teacher clarifies for the outsider, "When you felt that your planet will be obliterated, then you had joined individuals are doing nothing since they have still not felt it. Assuming people feel that their planet Earth will be destroyed, they will likewise." In the meantime we see Helen child arousing from rest. He never preferred that outsider. He likewise disdains his mom as she is helping the outsider. Since he realizes that an outsider is a danger. Acknowledging it, he contacts the police force. He additionally uncovers that the outsider is alongside him. Inside a brief time frame, US military helicopters arrive at their Helen, her child and outsider escape from that point and they move to the forest. Then, at that point, a US military official plunges and catches Helen and moves to the helicopter. Here outsider crashes the two helicopters utilizing its superpower. Outsider additionally saves Helen child when he will fall into the stream. Here the film shift to that Goliath robot. US military focuses on that humanoid through its tactical helicopter. However, that robot gets no mischief. That robot crashes their planes on their own tactical tanks. Here the researchers have NASA plan and catch that robot eateries dread to detonate it. And furthermore they prevail with regards to doing that demonstration. In any case, the robot stays safe and it gets changed into a gathering of various little bugs. These bugs look exceptionally unnerving as they can pound at whichever comes on their way. Outsider and Helen child are shown. Helen child is attempting to contact Helen, however the telephone watch is messed up. He can't get to her, so outsider fixes the telephone utilizing its powers. Presently he calls her mother and advises her to meet at his dad's grave. Presently we can see that Helen sign and the outsider have become old buddies. Presently Helen child arrives at his dad's grave. Helen child has seen how the outsider has restored a man that is the justification for why he got it here, so it might revive his dad, yet outsider lets him know that it will always be unable to revive the rotted thing. Here Helen child gets extremely crestfallen. Also, begins crying noisily. Simultaneously Helen additionally moves toward there and embraces his child. She makes him calm. Helen likewise uncovers that she additionally misses his dad, and she additionally uncovers that she sees the impression of her significant other at him. Then, at that point, mother and child begin to sob a ton, embracing one another. Helen child apologizes to her. Seeing it, the outsider is left astounded. It had not witnessed such way of behaving of people before. Helen's solicitation to outsider here: humankind ought to be given another opportunity. Now they see the bugs warm in the air which was transformed from that robot. After this the outsider shares with damnation and we should pay for it. What's more, we need to move to Focal Park. Subsequent to arriving at Focal Park, they get stressed in the wake of seeing it. Illuminates Helen that bugs had gone into his body. Simultaneously Helen's nose likewise begins to drain, yet Helen begs the outsider to save the existence of her child. Outsider eliminates all bugs from the assemblage of Helen and her child. The outsider enters his spaceship. Seeing Helen and her child for the last time, electromagnetic radiation exudes from the outsider spaceship when it contacts it. This causes the finish of all bugs. It implies that individuals won't be killed. The most shocking thing seen here is all the media transmission organizations and lights get switched off. Indeed, even the watches quit working. It implies that people innovation arrives at its end. In the end, it is shown that Helen and her child move to the outsider spaceship, and outsider spaceship starts to fly in the air leaving this planet. It implies that the outsider is as yet alive, and the movie ends here.